Good evening, YouTube. It's been much too long since the last time I did this. Sorry. But, well, I decided I best share my thoughts with you people. Before we get started, though, I would like to, as usual, give a shout out to my good friend Englander. Though I've not heard from him in a while, I'm sure that's just because he's spending some good, wholesome time with his family, or maybe he's having some kind of adventure, as he often does. He loves camping and stuff. Either way, though, I do pray that he is safe and that I shall hear back from him soon. Anyway, I have been thinking. And what about? Well, oh dear, neighbor dogs. Anyway, YouTube, as I was saying, it just hit me. Just a moment ago, I was listening to Tim Pool's nightly podcast, and the guest said, even if the world really is a terrible, oppressive place, and rife with injustice, etc., children, especially young children, should not know that it's the case. They should be given they should be taught that the world is a good place, because it's the only way they'll be able to get on in life. And it just occurred to me that that's not really true, and I think that's terribly harmful, because when you do that to a child, it's much worse than Santa Claus, Santa Claus is just because it is such a fairly small lie, just to make the Christmas season a bit more magical and interesting for children. It doesn't completely ruin them when they discover that Santa Claus is not real. But if you take a child and you basically make their entire worldview Santa Claus, well, you're going to ruin everything about that child, Although I certainly don't think that children should grow up, nihilistically, believing that the world is a horrible, fundamentally evil place and that life is pointless. But that's because I don't think that's the case. It's the way that children ought to be brought up, and the way that all humans lived before the 20th century. Virtually all humans lived before the 20th century, and absolutely all humans lived before the 19th century. There were deeply ingrained beliefs in God and in the supernatural, and religion and all that. And basically there was this understanding that, the world that we exist in is terrible and awful and unjust and yada yada yada. Even nature itself is out to kill you. But that's okay, because every wrong dealt against you shall be corrected in some future life. Be that heaven or reincarnation or whatever. But also, it's very important for you to be a good person, because if you're not a good person, if you're not a good person, you'll suffer accordingly. You'll be punished in life to come. And I realize, of course, that the atheists and such in the audience will say, it's like, oh, but that's just the Santa Claus thing all over again. But I would say it's not. Because, though I'm not a deist, I have particular religious beliefs, which I believe to be true. I don't just think that there is some vague eternal justice in the future life. I think that there's very particular stuff. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting lost. I'm getting lost in the weeds. The point is, I believe that religion and all that is true. It is true that this world is unjust, but there is a better world elsewhere which is just, in which we shall suffer or be rewarded according to our actions in this world. And that is not a lie. The lie is that all of existence is pointless and that everything is going to die and that the world is a horrible place. Like nihilism is one lie. And the other lie is simple naivety. The other lie is that the other lie is just that the world is a basically good place and that there is justice on earth. The sensible centrist position, if I might be so bold, is that there is a point to life. The point to life is to guarantee yourself the best possible position in the afterlife, and but also, that is because this current life is so rotten and cruel. And that's just something that I've been thinking about today. Good evening, and have a lovely night, or a lovely day, depending on what time it is for you. Farewell.